Me, car, musician, friend, Chicago, life, balanced. You know the drill by now.
I pretty much have never not played in a rock band since I was 11 or 12. I'd made the decision to move to Chicago because I was listening to the alternative radio station in Columbus, and they were playing Urge Overkill and the Smashing Pumpkins and Material Issue and all these really powerful rock bands, and I love that kind of music, and I like playing loud guitar, so I thought, well, that sounds like the place for me.
Yeah, that was like the Chicago heyday.
Yeah, sort of. That's it. Yeah. You know, that sounds like where I need to be, because I wanted to play music and had stars in my eyes, you know, that stuff that you have when you're young. I got a journalism degree, and I actually got a writing assistant job at a print magazine. But once I lost that job, then I was just completely eyebrows deep in music. I just worked temp jobs and odd jobs, and people who I was playing in a band with enlightened me that instead of working for $9 an hour, because I had a journalism degree, I could be making $25 an hour proofreading for advertising agencies. So I started doing that, and then after a little while, I was proofreading the work of copywriters, and after proofreading for a while, I thought, well, I can do that. So then I started pestering people for copywriting work, and then anywhere else I could get little bits of writing work. So I sort of moved, pulled myself up the food chain from proofreader to copywriter. Did that for years and years while I was traveling and doing bands. And that's still what I do today. I'm still a copywriter.
So are you still making music?
Oh yeah, I still play in a rock band with some mutual friends of ours.
And it still fires you up?
Sometimes it feels like it's like a bad, like infuriating habit, but it just feels like it's a natural part of my life. I love playing music, and I love playing with my friends. It's one of those things that the older you get and the longer you keep at it, you learn new things and you get better at doing the things that you've known for a long time, and that joy of doing a familiar but open-ended creative thing.
Initially, you moved to Chicago, you said, pursuing the
big dream.
Yeah. At some point, you came to terms with that not happening?
It hurt. It was hard. Because when I moved here, I was gung-ho. I mean, It was all I wanted to do. I was determined to try to, scratch my way to a place where I could be in a rock band for a living. I put it at the forefront of everything. I made it my top priority, and fucked up a lot of jobs, and actually fucked up some relationships with some pretty incredible people in the process, because I always put that dream and that goal first. I think I figured out once I started to get into my early to mid 30s, I think a couple things happened. I started to have some health problems that made it a little more difficult to just kind of be fancy free. So I had to get a full-time job so that I could get health insurance. It just becomes pretty clear when you sort of start to see that, the scales are kind of tipped towards younger kids who look younger and can travel all year. I was outgrowing that. I was getting tired of being like a starving artist, and I just kind of knew that sort of the window for some sort of like miraculous rock stardom deliverance from mundane life was kind of closing. So I made my peace with, I'm not going to stop playing music, but I'm going to stop striving for it to be the only way I'm going to be fulfilled or the only way I'm going to make a living. It's just going to have to be an important, but probably not life-consuming. It took some time to kind of get used to it and break some kind of thought habits. I don't know, I'm really happy now. It allowed me to make some rules for myself that I think make music more enjoyable for me than it was. I'm not going to play with people I don't like anymore. For one, I'm only going to play with people that I like. I was driving for this goal, which was to get to the point where music can be my job. It got to be the point where the music was no fun anymore. It became this kind of means to an end, which was the job of playing music rather than the end in itself. I'm glad I was able to figure that out and switch my priorities around a little bit so that I continue to enjoy it. Maybe it's not something you wanted anymore, or you find yourself in a place where you feel like you should be leaving some sort of mark, but you don't know how. Just give yourself a little time to figure it out. I think periods of inactivity and contemplation are okay. And, I've certainly had stretches of that where, I wasn't playing music and was even just considering not playing music anymore. If it's not paying your bills, if it's not fun anymore, follow your bliss.
Fair enough.